Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Life Chronicles and Deep Dives podcast. I'm here with Coach Cornelia.
All the way in Denmark. Hello, everybody. Hi, Michael.
Yes, so I noticed something here where I'm at. It is the 27th, and it is 11:06 a.m. and I've got sunlight outside because it's midday.
Mm-hmm.
When we were scheduling this episode, you mentioned that it was going to be in the evening for you. So you just adjusted your blinds. What's going on there? You said it's what?
Yeah, it's the Danish summer. Like in north of Europe, you have this long, very long day, which lasts about 20 hours, and you only have 2, 3, maximum 4 hours of dark. So it is like this until midnight, maybe more, and then you have a little bit of dark, and then very soon you have light again. This is in the summertime, and then in the wintertime is different. You have this very long night and then only a few hours. I mean, we had winters when we didn't have any sun at all. So everyone here is on vitamin D
Got
all
it.
the time. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. It'd be a different like way of life. I mean, you have to like
Yeah.
adjust for it, and it throws off the natural rhythms of things.
It does. It does actually. When the summer comes, you go to sleep so late because you don't realize how late it is. Because I mean, you're used to just go to sleep when it's dark outside. So
Mhm.
yeah, but then you get in line in a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Mhm. So, what time is it there currently with the sun glaring down on you like it's mid
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess it's not too much different here because we get our sunsets right around 9 o'clock in the summer here, but nowhere
Mhm.
near midnight, 1 a.m. Sundown time. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, when I first came here, I was in shock because I didn't know why is in the sun going down? Because in Romania you have the normal like day night summer. In the summer, okay, it's maybe you have more sun in the evening, but I was wondering what's happening, and then I didn't know about this, and then I found out that it is the Danish summer. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, before we dive even more into this episode, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then check out our links in the description box below for both of our websites. This episode, we're going to touch on a few different topics. We're going to move through them relatively fast. And the first one I wanted to go over was like AI advancement. And I know that President Trump just signed a few bills to make sure that the United States is on top of, the AI advancement, coming out as like the world leader in production. I'm sure, like Japan and China and other countries are also working on this. We've talked about AI previously on an episode where we fielded ideas like Colossus, the Forbin project, where it had control of defense systems, Skynet in the Terminator series. But I wanted to look at the positive implications of AI advancement, and then I'll talk about some of the negative side effects that we're seeing. The first being is that AI has made it possible to diagnose, you know, medical conditions,
Yeah.
symptoms
Mm-hmm.
much faster, potentially more accurate than a human doctor. And I've seen in sci-fi movies where they have like robot arms and they're doing like this fantastical or sci-fi, like medical procedure, and then the, hero or whatever, after being near death, comes back to almost life. I think there's a movie called Elysium, had Matt Damon in it and
Yeah,
Jodie
yeah.
Foster,
I
right?
know. Very great movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And so similar concept, like if we could advance AI to that level of, you know, health, that would be great. Being able to just like walk in someplace, have a diagnosis, and then get treatment almost immediately.
Yeah.
Um, that would be
Yeah. It would be great. Ever since I've seen that movie, I said, "Oh, I want this." And
mhm,
then when AI started to get involved into these areas of medicine, I was so happy about it because I think it's gonna happen at one point.
Hmm. I'm sure it will. Because like you could go in, get your scan, get your diagnosis. The AI could do the scan, do the diagnosis, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear your symptoms. You could talk to this, computer. It'd probably look like a human or something. I don't know. And then in the next room, it has all your like vitals and your weight, and it can deliver anesthesia and then do the surgery, and the patching up after the surgery, just like that. Like, we
Yeah.
think about that, the implications for repairing the human body at such a efficient level. I think that's a great use of AI.
Yeah. I mean, I think in China they have a hospital now with eight AIs. And so it operates only on AIs, like doctors and nurses. And it's eight doctors, I don't know how many nurses, and you can just go in and they're treating you just like any other doctor, but with much more accuracy.
I think I've seen that. They have like this system that like it carries stuff on the ceiling and delivers medicine and all this food and like all these other things. It's almost all automated. I think I did see a short video of that, and that's quite impressive.
It is, yeah.
Um, the other thing that I've been looking at this for quite some time, with missing children. Okay, so my thought process on this would be to build a program that does, and I'm sure the FBI and the government, they have programs that do something similar, but I want to make like a comprehensive program that does facial recognition, age modeling, object identification. And the reason why those things are specific is you can do facial recognition, you can find that face again, right? You can use the age modeling to potentially find that face. If the image is old or whatever, you can
Yeah.
find the face someplace else. And then, or at least get close, you might be able to find something, right? And then I also want to include like a web crawler and a dark web crawler. The reason why I want to do this is so that way it can go through ads, profiles on social media or
Mm-hmm.
dark web pages, and also run that same facial recognition, age modeling, and stuff like that. So, like having this comprehensive program that does all of that at the same time. The object recognition is important because you may have a picture of a child, an exploited child, right? You may have a picture. Europol actually does this, where they have like a crowdsource object identification, where they have like everything cut out except for this object in this image, and then
Wow.
it's like a child being exploited, so they have it all cut out. And then there's an image of, like, let's say there's like a can of something. It's not necessarily the soda can, it's too vague, but they'll be like, do you recognize this object? And it's like a crowdsourced thing. Now if
Yeah.
we leverage AI to find that object, we could at least narrow it down to like a region. So, like a blanket that
Yeah.
they sell in Romania, they're probably not selling in Denmark, but we could identify that they're selling in Romania. So now we've got an area where the image that we're looking for this person was taken. We can also scrub, websites for ads, profiles, whatever, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, whatever, and it should do all at a like a hit of a button with minimal human interaction. So the nature of what it's looking for, you can essentially insert one image. It can then look over thousands, millions, or whatever images, find matches to that without a human having to parse through that individual data until it gets hits. That saves agents and human psyche from having such like trauma from like going through those images and finding. So that's kind of like what I'd like to put together, and I think that would be a great advancement for AI.
Yeah.
I don't know if the government has it already, but um, I would like to be able to offer it to the government for free. I don't want any money for it. And then, but I got to figure out how to build it. So right now I'm trying to learn how to build like just a simple AI program. I'm trying to learn
Mhm.
program. So let's, in the last episode, we talked about things that we're doing this summer. That's one of the things that I've kind of been working on is finding the framework and learning, trying to figure out how to code what programs I need, how I could integrate certain like things. And once I've got this framework, this program down, because obviously I can't use it to find what it needs to find. Once I've got the framework, I can then offer it to, the FBI. And if it turns up at one hit, then it was worth it.
Yeah, sure.
One child, then it was worth it.
It was, yeah. You're so right, Mike, and I'm very glad that you're thinking about it because usually these kids and missing persons are becoming a number, and like all of us. So it is a number maybe, but it's for one family, it's their child.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it is like it's great even one kid if it's safe, it's great because it's crazy with so many kids missing lately.
Mm-hmm. And that's it's not good. And like I see it, and I watched the movie The Sound of Freedom when that movie came out, and kind of hearing about like the missing children that were coming across the border and being sent out to these places and where they're being found. uh it doesn't it didn't spark a lot of confidence in me that our government was working to, at the time, the previous
Yeah,
administration was
yeah,
working
heard
to
about it.
find these missing exploited children. So I started looking into how to build this program. Obviously, I have a lot of other stuff on my plate, but I am working towards building the program, at least building small steps.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can get this program out in a year or two, uh, and then hand it off to the FBI and it works, that'd be great. But that's what I'm talking about. The leveraging AI advancement, using it for good, medical, finding people, um, the downsides, right? So I read a article about the downside was is because people are using chat GTP or AI to generate schoolwork or
Mm-hmm.
research. They're not actually finding things. They're not actually using all of their brain. They're missing those neural pathways of how did I get here? They're
Mm-hmm.
just, here we go, boom. Some cases, they're not even learning what the AI is being used, and they're trying to present it as they know. So, like, if I use AI to create a document for work, or not work, school, an essay, right? I don't have to read that document. I just got to turn it in to get the grade. And I'm
Yeah,
seeing more and more of children, the advancement of AI, but younger people using that. And unfortunately, uh, they're not learning. I mean, it's great if you want to look up something and find information, but it's another thing to use it to cheat. And so,
sure.
right? I mean, you're not learning anything.
Of course, and something else that bothers me is you cannot make, I mean, my mom cannot make the difference between an AI made photograph, picture, or a text. And you see so many on Facebook or TikTok these days. You cannot tell the difference. And my mom is always sharing it like it's true. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's crazy. And I mean, there's been some videos with Trump which were fake. And my mom was, look, you like this guy, and this is what he's doing. I said, it's not true. Yes, it's true. Yes, I've seen it on Facebook. Yes, but it's not him. It's a it's an AI generated. So that's where I see a problem. I mean, it has to be somehow regulated, but I cannot see how. I don't
Yeah,
know how.
I
The
know Trump's
internet.
trying to build to like expand it, but I don't know how it regulates it to
Mhm.
protect against that. I know that recently, I believe we passed a bill, a law. Trump signed it, but basically it makes like so people were uploading images of other people and then like nudifying them
Mhm.
using AI or nudifying children and then distributing that. Uh, both are bad. So he signed a law making, I think that illegal and like increase the penalties for those things. That's a good thing. That's a good regulation, right?
Sure.
I've seen a lot of AI been used for like just simple ads. They're not putting people in the ads. They're using AI to generate this image for their product or, sell their product. However, I have seen AI generate fantastic trailers for like movies and stuff like that that actually looks good. I think that's amazing that we can do that. But I don't know where would you put your finger down and say, hey, look, we need to back off here, or we need to accelerate this. I would say in medical, we need to accelerate, you know.
I agree, yeah. I was talking to my daughter yesterday and exactly the same, like they're searching everything online and my husband doesn't agree with he said he's always says you have a different life online and outside it's the real world where you have to at one point, I don't know, get a job or work or do something and have a life in the real world.
Mhm.
So I was talking about with them about this, trying to search for answers for different problems, and I think in the future years you're gonna see like we are gonna download it directly to our brains.
Mhm.
That's what's gonna happen. Like it, just the thought of something is gonna bring you so much information.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if we're gonna become like some lazy, mm, something. I'm not gonna say the word, but we're gonna be much smarter. I don't know how it's gonna affect us, or how our brain is gonna develop because we are, for example, in Romania and many countries in Europe, you are still practicing calligraphy at school because it forms some new neuropaths in your brain. So we are still using it for this. What if we don't use anything anymore? So just downloading in our brains everything, every information.
I mean, if you look at, there's a movie, Johnny Mnemonic, starred Keanu Reeves. It was like 2000s cyberpunk kind of deal, and he's like a courier, and he's got like a chip in his head that allows him to carry data as a
Mm,
courier, like a living courier for data. Um, but we're close because Elon Musk has Neuralink,
yeah.
right? And if that can he said is working on giving somebody's sight back. If that can help somebody like move or walk, or it would be feasible that he could essentially create what they did like in the Matrix, where he's like, "Hey, I know kung fu, right?" He downloaded kung fu straight to his brain, right? I mean, that could be possible. I don't know how soon, but that would be interesting.
Wow, can you imagine that? I cannot even imagine it. I'm not able to imagine it. Like this one with karate or kung fu or something, just to download it and to know the moves. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. I
So
mean, if you've seen The Matrix, you should, if you haven't seen the first Matrix, you should definitely watch it. It's 100% recommended viewing. And it is essentially there. There's another scene in there where Trinity, the character, is like, hey, I need to learn how to fly this helicopter. And they just download it straight into her brain. And she's like, okay, let's go.
we can all be anything we want.
Absolutely. So you wanted to talk about, you mentioned to me that you had a interesting take on creationism. So tell me about that. What do you think about that?
I mean, the main idea is that what I feel about, I've been thinking a lot of about this lately, and um, when you ask about who are we as humans, right? For me it's hard to believe the Darwinist ideology. This is what I'm calling because everyone in this um, with this opinion is like in an ideology. So it's for me it's hard to believe it. Even though I'm loving Richard Dawkins, I don't know if you've watched him. He's a great scientist. He's a great man. He's speaking so good, but I admire him, but I cannot believe it anyway. Then the Big Bang, it's out of my understanding zone. I don't see how just an explosion can do what's happening now. So my only thing was this creationist theory that I believe in, that we have a creator. And then what makes this what makes us as children of this creator? It makes us like creators. Everything we do, it's creation. Everything we do is creation. Everything a tree does is creation. It creates the leaves, it creates the cells inside of it, it creates the roots and everything. It's the same, like we are creating a small universe, each of us, right?
Mhm.
And my dog is having his own creation, like my dog is creating his own place in the house or outside in the garden.
Mhm.
And this is my new thought that we are all creators. And I know that people are talking about this, but I don't feel that everyone understands what this means. It means like we are just creating a new universe.
Mhm.
If I wasn't on this planet, I wouldn't have had my daughter. I wouldn't have this house, not this placement in the house. Nothing is like nothing is the same anywhere. So my house is different from the millions of houses in the world, you know?
Mhm.
Very interesting if you think about in detail about this act of creation.
So I was actually, you know what, now that you mention it, I was actually thinking about this, I don't know, a few days ago. And I had this interesting thought. And I was at work and I'm always thinking about something deep. I don't know. I mean, I'm overthinking everything, like down to the atom. I'm always,
Sometimes I wish I wasn't,
yeah.
but I am.
I I follow more the evolutionary theory of it. I don't subscribe to any one particular thing because you, for some reason you can't prove any of them, right? You can't prove that they don't exist either. But my take on the creationism is a little bit different. The sun is the source of our energy for this planet. The sun generates the energy for the earth, plants, like everything.
And it's the first God in the spiritual world. It's the first God that ever existed, the sun.
Right.
Mhm.
And that energy that gets passed down through the plants that our food eats, that we then eat, gets passed to us. Right. Now,
Mhm.
if we take that theory and the energy from the sun. Now, spiritually, we talked about this. There's been several tribes or peoples of the past that
Mhm.
have worshipped the sun
Yeah.
as their god, their whatever, and that to me follows what's interesting about the human psyche because we try to apply human traits to everything, even mystical things, ghosts, uh, fantastical things, aliens. Look, when they first started, conceptualizing aliens for movies, they all looked humanoid. When we talk to our pets or we look at a rabbit and we're like, oh, that rabbit said hi, or the deer saying hi to us, or our dog is doing this because that's what we
My
recognize
dog,
as
yeah,
speaking,
I'm calling my dog has hands. So the two front, the two ones in the front, it's their hands.
right? So we're personifying what we see. So this is my take on religion, is that we're trying to personify the energy from the sun, right? So like as we're constantly looking for a way to be connected to something, right?
Mhm.
That's that search, right? The being closer to God, whatever you believe in. My thought is that the energy from the sun that's passed down through the plants to our food that we eat, that's essentially the closest thing that you can get to a god. And I'm trying to like put it together the best way. But religion is us trying to personify that energy. Maybe
Okay.
not the same energy, but like we're trying to personify a higher power than us. We're trying to find that connection. We're trying to apply the same thing that we apply to, when we see animals or we try to personify whatever we're interacting with for that familiarity. We're trying to personify the unknown. And so what happens is that starts to look like a human, Jesus,
Mhm.
Allah, Buddha, and some of these people were real people, but the mysticism and the power that they had, or the spiritualness that they had, we're trying to personify that. The bush that was burning, that was talking, we personified it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just interesting to see how that works. And I'm not saying which one's wrong and which one's right.
I mean, yeah, I'm never seeing this creationist theory close to the church. And the church is something so human these days. I mean, I know that Jesus said that go in the world and make churches for delivering the gospels, but I don't see any connection between the creationist theory and the church. What I'm seeing in the creationist theory is it like a huge force that multiplies itself through us, through our animals, through all the trees, through everything. It just creates and creates and creates and creates in an infinite of possibilities. I don't see any, like the church preaches that God, for example, in the Orthodox religion, God is like someone who is punishing you. It's not, I mean, it's with our days, it's not working anymore. This fear manipulation is not working anymore. I cannot see a God who's just watching us everywhere and says, I'm going to punish that guy. What did Micah say yesterday? I'm going to punish him for that. You know, that's crazy. This is like a human trait put in a God, you know? I don't think God has this kind of, or God, or this huge force of creation. I don't think it has this kind of conscience. It just multiplies its creation,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Okay,
That's
that's
how,
a good way to put it. Like it's just one creation creating another, which is like an infinite loop of
yeah,
creation. So that I could get behind. That I could get behind because that still falls in line with my energy theory, which would then align also with your creation of universes. Because each individual, as you said before, each individual creates their own universe around them, their own energy, right? And has their own. The world is different to each person,
yeah, yeah,
and so that is the creation.
yeah. And I was reading this the other day about the with this war in Palestine. I'm just trying to learn more about everything. And the Jewish tradition, religion, they say that God only speaks to them and does everything for them. So this is why they don't recognize Jesus, because their own Jesus didn't come yet, because he's only gonna come from their people and is gonna do these things for their people. That made me think, who what God is so personal? I mean, I only like that group of people. I only like that group of people. I don't like those ones. It's kind of crazy. I don't think it's like this force of creation. I don't think it has like opinions, about anything. It just creates. And we are creating. Maybe we have this conscience that, I don't know, freedom of choice or whatever. Maybe somehow it happens in the creation, but I just feel it like it keeps creating without being judgmental, because God is judgmental in every religion, or favors certain people or something like this. I don't think God is like this.
I
And I
think
think
you
that
see people applying what they needed to control their populations into the religion at the time. So they're essentially personifying the control that they need into their religion, and getting people to subscribe to it.
yeah, exactly.
And
I
that's
think the world is changing, and at one point we are either fighting for our beliefs again, like we fought all the time. Everyone is fighting because of mainly all the wars were because of the religion, or we come to a consensus and say this is it. Because if it were to be one God, it's not uh, a God for some people and another God for it's one, just one. And I call it this force of creation. You can, it's the source, you can communicate with it through your, I don't know, inner thoughts or energy and so on. But I don't see it like we have Allah, you have God, these ones they have death and so on. I don't see it like this.
That's good. I mean, because it binds you to one thing. And I mean, I am opposed to control as
I
much
know.
as you know what
Yes,
I
you are.
mean. So when I look at like the different aspects of religion and I see it, some of it's good, but then I also see some of it as control, and it's a complicated topic, and I think we've shared our thoughts on it, and I think that is good because like we can have differences of opinion, but I'm not trying to kill you, and you're not trying to kill me over it, and I think that that is a good thing when it comes to religion and that pipeline. I think we need to step away from trying to convert or trying to kill. Um, which
Yeah.
you see that across the globe, right? I mean, even the nicest religions, do mission work and try to spread and acquire more, people into, you know what I mean? Rather than letting the people gravitate towards, I mean, in some cases, people gravitate to it, but there's still outreach going. Um, and I just find it interesting. It's like a whole
It's a
thing.
beast.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm not saying it's
I've
bad.
been watching, I've been watching some. I mean, it can be good I mean, to know that you can turn to God at one point and maybe talk to a priest. It has its benefits, but I've seen some documentaries with some pastors in the US. They are crazy rich, so rich. I mean, they are the greatest manipulators of all times.
Mm-hmm. And that's where it gets dangerous because you see the human brain trying to take advantage, the path less take the easiest path, take advantage, put myself on top. You're seeing, in some cases, the ego shine through more than that, which is why I like the energy concept, because there's no person that I'm interacting with. There's no personification to the energy. There's just the sun's energy coming down, trickling down through all these different facets of life into me, and then out, and then on to something else. So
Mhm.
it's just and then same thing with your creationist, I thought process. It's just an infinite loop of energy being passed and
Yeah.
perception being formed. And so I think that's cool.
Mhm.
Well, everybody, hold on. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to that before we close this out?
I mean, we can talk about this. We could talk about this, and you know it, Micah, for many, many hours. But
Absolutely.
some other time as well.
I
Yeah,
guess that's why they call us Life Chronicles and Deep Dives, because like when we go into something, we start to chip away at the surface level of things and we really dive into it. And if we don't fully get into it in one episode, we'll come back to it,
sure.
guaranteed. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links in the description box below for our websites. And we'll see you in the next episode.